Oh, yeah. How is everybody doing today? This is the second live of the day. We are about to talk about Isaac Butterfield and his take on the fat gap. Now, I'm going to say I have not watched this video at all. Like I haven't watched it even at all. So I am very interested to see what he has to say. Isaac and I talk about a lot of the same stuff. I think our delivery is extremely different. But give me one second. I got to find his video real quick. I just had it and I don't know where the fuck it went. But and I like a lot of Isaac's content. I don't watch all of anybody's content, to tell you the truth. But here we go. This is the fat gap. So let me pull over here. So again, this is a completely blind reaction to Isaac Butterfield's The Fat Gap from yesterday. I'm not even sure what he's talking about, to tell you the truth. I'm not even necessarily sure what he's actually saying. Kaylee, how are you doing? I hope everything's good with you guys. And how's everybody else in the chat? By the way, real quick, folks, if you ever wanted to grab No Morbidity or Alchemy, sold at the Vitamin Shop, they're sold at every Sprouts grocery store right now. You can get them at ambrosiacollective.com. Here are the links to get them at Ambrosia Collective. You can also get a link to our coaching or get a consultation from me. So please do check these out. That is right here. And I just put it in the chat for everybody. But this is Isaac Butterfield's The Fat Gap. And like I said, I'm interested to hear what he has to say because I have not watched this at all. We're also going to listen to Isaac at 1.5 speed, 1.25 speed, excuse me. And here we go.
I'm sure we're all very familiar with the gender pay gap. The concept that women get paid less because they choose different careers, choose different university degrees or college degrees, choose to have children, make different choices to men. They don't want to work away, they don't want to work as many hours on average, etc., etc., etc. Or more commonly known as just sexism. If you like being a victim, get over it, ladies, work harder. But you may not know this, there's also an LGBTQIA+ wage gap, which I thought was very interesting. And I assume you're not getting paid as much as your straight counterparts because you're spending your entire day updating your pronouns on your Instagram bio. Am I on the money? There's a lot of other gaps. There's even an ethnicity gap. If you're black, you don't make as much money as white people.
I have, as a black woman, I have not had the experience of this. I've just worked my ass off, you know? So, I mean, even when I started becoming a black woman by becoming loud and, having a lot to say, all the stereotype things about black women that people try to, use in defense of their own actions so they can't be held accountable. Um, I haven't had that trouble as a black woman myself. Uh, our businesses do well. I haven't had it hold me back.
There are a lot of different gaps. Now, what I really hate about these gaps is it gives express written consent from a very young age that they are able to live their lives as a victim. If they never become what they wanted to become, they can always blame
Look at I mean, what father wouldn't be proud about that?
sexism, racism, homophobia. They can always fall back on that. And human beings love the path of least resistance. They love an excuse. There's no getting around that fact. If you just put the effort in, you would get to wherever you want to be in life. Just last week.
I say this all the time. Here's the thing about society that people don't like to admit, right? And I think, hang on a second, I'm gonna make sure I talk about this real quick. Okay? So most people don't want to admit this, but the thing about society that people just have a hard time understanding is that there are a lot of people that are, in fact, a lot better than a lot of other people. And it's almost always because they try harder. Like we in our society today are enabling and almost propping up people that don't try hard. And then we want to make sure that they're seen as just as equal as the people that do. That's not reality. People are better than you most of the time. There's somebody out there better than me. There's somebody out there better than you. There's somebody out there better than everybody. It's normally because that person tries harder, a lot harder. I mean, if you don't like that somebody else is seen as better than you, try harder to be better than them. Don't just bitch about it because bitching about it just in general, but if you say like, oh, this person has advantages over me, it's because they work harder most of the time. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand that discrimination has been a thing in our history, but I keep telling this to people. If you think you can't make it in America as a black person, explain Barack Obama to me. Explain Oprah Winfrey to me. Explain all. There are more black millionaires per capita than there are white ones per capita. Explain that. You cannot. Try harder, people. No matter what your sex, no matter what your fucking race, no matter what what who you like to sleep with or what you like to do, try harder. Get there faster. Anyway, here we go. So, obesity gap.
Week in Australia, the government released all of these facts and figures about the pay gap, and you had all these fucking fat women on Instagram whinging about it. And here's the fact of the matter: if you just worked harder, then you would achieve those goals. If you decided not to
Exactly.
have children, you'd achieve those goals. All of those kinds of things. And one of the biggest gaps, pay gaps in Australia, is the airline industry, because there's not as many women working as pilots. Do you know what's stopping women becoming pilots, other than obviously the crashes and stuff? Nothing. Nothing's stopping you. Stop fucking whinging and get it done. Anyway, in a hilarious turn of events, it turns out that there is a fat gap, an obesity gap. People are paid less and people are whinging because they are obese. The First Lady.
Well, they don't actually, like, they may get paid less, but they cost more. And speaking of, like, I mean, I don't know Isaac's background, but as somebody that used to employ thousands of people, because I used to employ thousands of people, everywhere from doctors, dietitians, nurses, diet techs, um, CNAs, food service directors, directors of food and dining, all the way from down to dishwashers. I used to employ thousands of fucking people. Fat people cost us more as employers. Like, you pay more, like, they cost the company more, you know, period. And you miss work more often because you are fucking fat, and you do get sick more often. And very fucking frankly, uh, you in fact cost them more. Somebody just said, hang on a second, this is a good one. I work with independent living services, and I work with people who have autism. It's a great service that gives parents a break. That's awesome. Good for you. Good for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this video is brought to you by this amazing sponsor. Now, I've been laying...
Sorry, Isaac, I'm not going to do your sponsor.
Fat gap that these fat fucks would fill that gap. Anyway, this is from The Economist. The obesity pay gap is worse than previously thought. It affects...
It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. They cost more money.
Men as well as women, and is wider... Come on, you wrote that deliberately.
Do you really have...
Me and him have a very similar sense of humor.
Educated. Interesting. So the more well-educated someone is, the less likely they are to be paid a high amount of money if they are obese. What's really strange is I stumbled across this story not too long ago on Twitter, or X.
By the way, that person took their waist measurement wrong. It's supposed to be higher up than that, 2 inches above the belly button.
Whatever you want to fucking call it. And it was being run as an ad by The Economist. And this is what journalism has become. Clickbait to get people to come in and check out their ads on their page.
Of course.
They're writing shit like this deliberately for you to come in and get the shits and say, what the fuck? Obese people experience discrimination in many parts of their lives.
No, they don't.
Oh, and the workplace is no exception. Studies have...
No, it's no exception, because they're not discriminated against. You can't be, like, you're not marginalized. First of all, the majority of people are fucking fat as fuck. You're not marginalized. You fill the whole fucking margin. You take up the whole goddamn margin. That's one. But two, you're not discriminated against. If anything, you're fucking coddled. You shouldn't, like, if you have a job that requires any type of, physical commitment of showing up to work every day, shit like that, not missing work. Like, if you actually have to be at the office all the goddamn time, you shouldn't be hiring 400-pound people. You just shouldn't. I mean, it goes against good business sense, good business quality sense. Like, you have two people, they have equal qualifications. They sit down. They have equal schooling, equal experience, and you've asked their former employers everything that they're allowed to tell you, meaning did they, would you rehire them, stuff like that. They can't necessarily say anything beyond that. And you can get any fucking Tom, Dick, and Harry to write a fucking positive thing. You look at the resume, you ask them questions based on their own, right? So say they answer the questions equally in the same speed, everything like that. like for the pertaining job. Like say I was hiring a food service director and I start talking to them about purchasing, invoicing, inventory. I start talking to them about scheduling. I start talking to them about the proper application of liberalized diets if it's an assisted living or independent living or skilled nursing or something like that. I go through all of these things with them, right? And one is fat as fuck and one is healthy and obviously works out. I'm hiring the healthy and works out person 10 out of motherfucking 10 times. And that is not discrimination. That is me doing my job. That is me doing my best fiduciary responsibility to the company that I fucking work for to make sure that the employee that I hire brings us the most positive results and brings us the best bang for our buck. And hiring a fat person over a skinny person that's equally as qualified will not do that. If you hire the fat person who is equally as qualified as the skinny person, it is going to cost you more money in workman's comp, insurance rates, time missed from work, lower productivity because they're fat, especially if there's any physical thing to it, where they need to walk around the office, walk upstairs, do anything like that. It is reality. It is just absolute reality. And somebody said it's just like a smoker and a healthy person. I'm hiring a healthy person. 10 out of 10. So am I. Because it's my job to hire the best person, not to fucking look out for somebody's fifis after they've gluttoned themselves to fucking blimp size. That's just not reality.
Have long shown that obese workers defined as those with a body mass index of 30 or more earn significantly less than their slimmer counterparts. Now,
that's because that's what they're worth. Because they cost more money. You pay them less, so the extra money it costs you is offset. Reality exists. This is a very real thing.
Now, this incredibly written article by, their name isn't attached to it because they know people would fucking make fun of them. Now, what this mystery person could have said is, okay, these really obese people, maybe they're not getting paid as much as their slimmer counterparts because they're not able to do the work that they do. That's a pretty obvious reason. Also, if you are 400 pounds, 200 kilos, whatever that equates to, if you are working in an office and someone comes in to meet a potential new client comes in to meet everyone in the office and they meet you, I'm sorry, but people are going to be like, oh, gross, I don't want to work with you, you big fat.
Yep. I'm sorry, but like you're showing a physical representation of your company. If your physical representation of your company is sickly and fat, people might not want to work with your company.
Fuck. Like, I know that's horrible and that's mean, but
it's not horrible or mean. It's fucking truthful. Isaac, not the fuck up.
Reality, because it's gluttony, because you are doing what everyone.
It's not horrible. It's not mean. It is absolute gluttony. You're doing the nice thing. So don't think that way about yourself, Isaac. Me and you need to hang out or something like that, dude. Because I'll make sure like don't. Who gives a fuck about what these people think? You're being fucking nice by telling them to not be fucking fat. Stop eating so fucking much. You're being a good person. You're being a much nicer person than these people that lie societally to their fucking best friends. You're fine fat just the way you are. Oh, you think so? No, I don't think so, but I'm lying to your face so you fucking think that you are okay or you at least think that I think you're okay, even though I know you probably know I'm lying. But at least then you will look at me like, oh, at least they thought enough to lie to me to my fucking face about my own fucking health. Yeah, somehow that's your friend. Somehow that's the friends people pick nowadays, is the person that's going to lie directly to their face to make themselves feel better about themselves in that moment instead of cares enough about them to tell them to lose the fucking weight so they can be around a long goddamn time. That's our society right now. Our society is nothing but institutionalized fucking lying. It's insane.
Everyone wants to do, but they know they shouldn't do it because they want to live a long life. Everyone wants to gorge themselves on food every day, but not everyone does it, all right? Am I jealous of you? Yes! It's not just the office where this exists and the fat person falls asleep at 2 o'clock until you rub a little jelly bean under their nose. What about a physical job? A plumber, a carpenter, or whatever. Anything where you have to actually use your body. You're not going to hire an obese person. How could you?
Hell no.
Merely claiming that because you're overweight, you won't get paid as much is ridiculous. You have to give reasons for this.
You are worth less. If you work in an office job, you are worth less if you're obese. Because you personally, what you bring to the table is associated with immediate higher costs. To offset this, what you are worth compared to the cost that you bear on the company, they must be balanced out. If you do not like this, don't be such a detriment to the fucking company that hires you. Don't be such a burden to the fucking company that hires you. In other words, don't be a fat fuck. If you don't like the fact that your pay is being offset by the extra amount that you're going to be costing the company in workman's comp, health insurance, and missed time, don't bitch.
So you can't just say it's because people are mean. On top of all that, if I'm a business owner and I'm hiring you and you can't look after yourself, How are you going to look after my business? Now, it is with
Exactly.
great regret that I inform you all that that's the end of the article because I have to now pay for a subscription. And fuck that. Thankfully, people have been talking about this not just recently, but for a long time. Heavier women tend to earn less. That's from the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis.
They deserve less. They're going to cost the company more. They deserve to put less in their pocket because the company is already coming more out of their pocket with money. Reality exists.
In 2011. However, men don't seem to face similar weight bias. Some studies even found that white males, the fucking pigs, seen as overweight actually earn more. Interesting. I would like to know how
So it's not a fat gap then.
this study was done because basing it on BMI is not overly accurate. Some people are actually quite fit and healthy and muscular at a BMI of 30, but others are not. They're quite obese.
That's what again, I agree with Isaac again here. They should be using waist to height ratio. If you use waist to height ratio, all that shit would work its the fuck way out.
Let's just put it this way. If your BMI is 72, you're a fat fuck. Can we agree on that?
A 10% increase in a woman's body mass decreased her income by about 6%, a weight-related wage penalty that was not experienced similarly by men. In fact, some of the studies in the report found that white men who are perceived as being overweight actually earn more, while wage penalties for women perceived as overweight were consistent across studies.
Okay, so there's a decrease in women's wages, but not men's. But isn't there a decrease in women's wages anyway?
We don't do the same jobs. I mean, men and women just don't do the same jobs. You know, are we going to pretend that like the hard labor jobs that make fucking $30-$35 an hour, which they absolutely should, are being taken much by women? That's normally men, and not to mention just men, but normally overweight men. Just construction workers are normally, if you go by the BMI, overweight because they do have a if they're working with their body every day, their muscle mass will normally place them in the overweight range.
Because of sexism? I'm kidding. Because of them having children or choosing different types of jobs or not wanting to move away or not wanting to work longer hours, be home with the family, etc., etc., etc. On top of all that, after a baby, women tend to keep weight on because of a myriad of fucking shitty excuses. Get out and walk, ladies. It's not that hard. But if they do put weight on, then their wage would decrease again. The Daily Mail also reported on this story, but fuck them. Maybe I'm wrong. You know, ladies and gentlemen, maybe I am wrong. Maybe I need to change the way that I hire and fire folks because I do that all the time. Not really. Anyway, would you hire this guy?
What does an 800-pound fat man?
If I'd go back to it, I would hire exactly the same way I used to hire. I would, if you sat down next to me and you were of equal qualifications, but you were fat, and the person you were at equal qualifications for was not fat, you are not getting hired because you are fat. You are not going to do as good of a job. Historically, I've employed thousands of people. You are not going to do as good a job by the people that have come before you. You are going to miss more work. I know factually that you will cost more money. Your folder is going to cost more money on workman's comp insurance and on health insurance. Your folder is going to cost us more money. Period. 100%. Without even an argument. There's no fucking way. If I went back to being a hiring manager for a company that was paying me to make the best hires possible and watch my bottom line, especially because when I worked in healthcare, I was literally responsible for the fucking bottom line. Like I wrote my fucking budgets out every goddamn year for each fucking facility, and I had to adhere to that, and I got called on the carpet if it wasn't fucking good. So I'm going to fucking make that shit happen. And if somebody gets hired and then a month later, they can't fucking make it to work because of, you know, they're sick or they can't go up the fucking stairs or they fucking all that bullshit, it just costs more money. So historically speaking, I would go back to doing what I historically fucking did, and I wouldn't hire the fucking fat person. Period.
Man, eat every day.
I would.
Wake up in the morning. First thing, let's have 2 biscuits as an.
He'd be ready for work. I reckon he'd turn up at work so early. He'd be straight in the kitchen, flipping some burgers. Look at that. That is just getting shit done, ladies and gentlemen. If you can get through that plate of food every morning for breakfast, you can do anything on fucking Microsoft Excel. But I think one of the hardest parts of assisting with, you know, breaking the barriers and helping fix the pay gap for obese people is actually getting them to the office.
This is the process of getting an 800-pound woman into a car. The first step is to lay a sheet in the trunk. Then, with the help of a walker, she struggles to maneuver herself to the edge.
Fuck, I hope she's got an OnlyFans. But the thing is, if you have to get pulled out of
fucking, oh, Jesus, fuck you. Fuck you, Isaac. Fuck you. Fuck you for even planting that fucking thought in people's heads. You fuck off, Isaac. Fuck off.
House via a crane, you're probably, you know, you shouldn't earn as much as someone who runs to work. That's just my thoughts. Here's the crazy thing. If you don't want to be affected by any of these gaps,
I'm just saying, but I just got to say, Isaac, I was looking very forward to us eventually meeting or talking or at least doing a fucking live. But now I'm pretty fucking pissed at you after that fucking comment about the OnlyFans thing and fucking throwing that out and putting in people's heads. I say some mean, cruel fucking shit to people, but I never do shit like that to people. That's fucking horrible. Fuck you, Isaac. God damn, that was horrible.
The pay gap for obese people or women or anyone. Don't. Just work harder. I know you don't want to hear that because that's not someone going, oh, you poor little victim. But that's all you need to do. Just work harder. And if you are female, then maybe you shouldn't have kids if you want to focus on your career. Pick one. That's not what you want to hear, but that seems to be the truth, right?
Well, I mean, it may not be what people want to hear. Like we're at that stage where people don't want to hear a bunch of shit. They don't want to hear about like the actual reality that being fat's bad for them. They don't want to hear about the actual reality. If women choose to stay at home with their kid, it's going to affect their pay later on. But that's why we need to we need to fucking, you know, have the fucking family unit, you know? And I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about in the chat about a fucking bathtub full of peeps, but stop it. Stop it. Fucking stop it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't.
And if you are obese and you think you're getting paid less, then lose fucking weight. Do what I'm doing right now. I'm currently on a cut. I just started back on the keto diet. Check with your doctors, etc., etc., etc. Check your doctor. Fuck me.
By the way, Isaac, if you ever need any help with that stuff, I would fucking gladly fucking give you a hand. So,
but I have been bulking since November, and I've put on 8 kilos or so. It's time to lose that because my love handles are fucking out of control.
Yeah.
But do it with me over the next 4 or 5 months. Let's fucking lose some weight together. Get out there, cut the shit out, cut your calories down. I cut the carbs out. That's the way I do it. You don't have to do it that way. Whatever way you want to do it, just fucking do it, ladies and gentlemen. Stop these fucking shit excuses. You can lose weight. Stop fucking lying to yourself. All right? That's my challenge to you. Be a good motherfucker. Peace in the Middle East. Mid extinct. Tout le revoir. Bye. Ladies and
very fucking cool. All right, that was my first one doing Isaac. I probably will do more. I'm definitely going to keep track of his weight loss journey. But I'm going to wrap this up by saying, Isaac, I fucking hate you for that fucking OnlyFans comment thing. But I got ADHD and my brain's going to fuck with that all goddamn day, you fucking horrible ass fucking person. I can feel myself fidgeting and shit. I all of a sudden turned into fucking Rain Man real quick because he fucked my brain up so fucking bad. But anyway, guys, my name is Alan Roberts. Have a good fucking day. I'm going to go fucking cry in a corner after what fucking Isaac just said. Goddamn.